But let's concentrate on insects for the time being. This could be the surface of a pond anywhere in the world. You'll always find insects that live on the water surface. In this case, these are whirligig beetles. The whirligig beetle has in fact 2 pairs of eyes.
Here he is now. Is that you, Dad?
No, it's a burglar. What is wrong with people, I'd like to know?
Who's upset you now?
The army.
Now, what could the army possibly do to upset you?
Insist on seeing me across the road. I hate that. The soldier did. Anything on the television?
Spiders have many eyes.
Well, that's not a very polite reply.
Dad, we want to tell you something. We thought we'd go away for the weekend, just a little break in the country.
What a good idea.
Oh.
Yes, I could do with a little break in the country.
Actually, Dad, I meant just Betty and me.
Oh, I see.
Not that you wouldn't be welcome.
But you just said you didn't want me to come.
No, it isn't that. But you see...
Brian, he's having you on.
How do you know that? How do you know I'm not a deeply hurt old man?
Because a weekend away with us in the country would be your idea of living hell.
You're quite right. Now, this weekend, is it of the romantic variety?
Now, what sort of question is that?
Extremely pertinent, I'd have thought, if you're ever to produce this child.
Now, that's just the sort of pressure we don't need.
Packing a black nightie never hurts.
Dad!
All right, all right. Enjoy your weekend. I'll be fine.
You're sure?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Well, assuming I don't fall over and hurt myself and can't get up, can't get to the phone, I'll be fine. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy each other without me in the way. Chase each other through the fields in the moonlight. Naked.
It isn't what we had in mind.
More's the pity. Look, now that's settled, could we have the television on?
If you like, why?
There's football on. Oh, I have been a dear old man, haven't I?
Compound eyes too. Very similar to insects and spiders.
Well, they brought a stretcher on now for Sol Campbell, the 19-year-old.
Opera?
Yes.
Opera?
It's not a dirty word.
I don't go to the opera.
You've never been, have you?
All right, no, I haven't.
Look, I've got tickets. I'm offering you a chance to enrich your life.
Can't we go to the football?
You've seen hundreds of football matches.
Time's running out. I won't be able to go to many more. Anyway, opera is full of all those great fat women, isn't it?
How do you know?
Well, it's a well-known fact.
Like the world being flat.
No, it certainly wouldn't enrich my life.
Doing anything you've never done before will enrich your life.
Oh, my God, what a cliché.
That's what you said to me soon after we met.
Was it?
I thought it was rather good.
Yeah, all right, I'll go to your rotten opera.
What am I going to do with this dress?
Slip it on and we'll run away together.
I can't believe I wore it just to make your old workmate jealous.
A pig of a workmate.
Granted.
When I think of the expression on his face as I walked up those stairs with you on my arm, the sun comes out.
That's all you bought it for. And where will I ever wear it again?
I never got a good look at you in it.
Harry? Come on, what do I do with it?
You mean apart from wearing it round the house and giving Harry a heart attack?
Apart from that.
Sell it.
I can't sell a present.
You could use the money.
I know I could, but I can't sell a present.
Give it to somebody.
I've just had a brilliant idea. When I bought that dress, Betty modelled it, and Brian had the most extraordinary expression on his face. They're going away this weekend. I'll slip it into her suitcase with a note.
No, not with a note.
Are you sure?
Yes, very sure. Not with a note.
This weekend, it won't affect our plans for Saturday, will it?
Well, why should it?
What plans?
Hasn't Harry told you? We're going to the opera.
Well, so far as I remember, Carmen is, well, a wanton beauty who drives her lover mad with desire.
Ooh, how wanton?
Well, perhaps passionate's a better word.
No, wanton will do. She won't be one of these 20-stone jobs, will she?
I shouldn't think so. No, she's got to be slim, beautiful. She's got to dance in an abandoned way that drives men mad with desire.
Who has?
Carmen. Dad and Harry are going to see Carmen.
You?
Well, I don't see why my going to the opera should engender such surprise. I might develop a taste for it.
I can hardly see you sitting through La Bohème.
There isn't an abandoned dance in La Boheme.
There's always Salome.
What, one with 7 veils? Well, I didn't know that was an opera.
Oh, yes.
I'd hardly call this a spiritual awakening.
You never know. Saturday nights could become opera nights.
Saturday? You're not going on Saturday?
Yes.
But you can't. Brian and I'll be away. The house would be empty.
You know how Betty feels about burglars.
Look, for someone who's never been burgled in her life, she talks as if she knows them intimately.
There's always a first time.
It could happen if I was here. I'm not a police dog.
Couldn't you go some other night?
No, Harry's got the tickets.
Well, I'm not leaving the house empty. We can't go, Brian.
But I booked the hotel.
This is absurd. Look, what do you expect me to do? Sit here on my own all weekend, counting the dots on the wallpaper?
Ask Harry round. There's plenty of food in the fridge. You've got the television.
Dots on the wallpaper to count?
Oh, well, if that's your attitude.
All right. I'll stay in. But I warn you, if I'm stiff in this chair when you return, I will have died of boredom.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
It's my trouble. I'm too nice. So where is the opera lover?
He's taken Neil to school. He loves that boy. He should have had children of his own.
Oh, parenthood's not all it's cracked up to be.
Have you had another row with Betty?
No, we just annoy each other all the time. Bit like a grumbling appendix.
Did you ever get on?
Until she was old enough to have opinions of her own. And they all seem to be diametrically opposed to mine.
You wouldn't want her to be a replica of you, would you?
No, she'd look peculiar. I bet you're like your father.
Let's not talk about families. Let's talk about something funny, like you sitting through an entire opera.
Yeah, that's what I want to see Harry about.
He's so excited. He could never have afforded the tickets by himself.
So what did you do, steal them?
No. There's this young couple who run the bookshop down the road. And they found they couldn't use theirs, so they gave them to Harry. Wasn't that kind?
Well, very. Yes.
He hasn't been for years. And I think being able to take you with him makes it sort of special.
Does it? You must be mad.
Yeah, well, that's what I said.
Thank you.
There's not a problem about Saturday, is there?
Problem? No. No, I just want to find out whether he expects me to wear a top hat and opera cloak. That's all.
What are you doing now?
Making sure the bathroom window's locked. Dad?
What?
I've locked your bedroom window in case you forget.
Fine. I'll probably have grown quite a bit by the time you come back.
What are you talking about?
It'll be like living in a greenhouse, all the windows locked.
I'm just being prudent.
I know. You won't be too prudent this weekend, though, will you? Just a little hint.
Can you take a little hint?
Well, I'm not going to drop dead, if that's what you mean.
Just mind your own business. Now, you know where everything is, don't you?
Unless I suddenly develop total amnesia, yes.
And if anyone strange calls, don't tell them we're away.
How strange do they have to be? If the telephone rings, am I allowed to answer it?
But of course you must. If you leave it ringing, the caller will assume that nobody's in.
That's assuming the caller's a burglar.
There's plenty of food in the fridge.
That's a clever place to keep it.
So you won't need to go out and buy any, will you?
No.
I know you think I'm being silly, Dad, but you won't go out, will you?
No.
You and Harry can always go to the opera some other time.
Well, of course we can.
Now, you know where everything is, don't you, Dad?
We've done that one.
Oh, right. Shall we go, then?
I'm ready. Goodbye, Dad.
Bye.
We'll be back Sunday evening.
Enjoy yourself.
Cheerio, Dad.
Cheerio, Brian. Incidentally, there's a little surprise in Betty's suitcase. Go on. It's not the same when nobody's looking.
And no Dad.
And no Dad.
Oh, Brian. It's lovely. It's really lovely.
I saw it in the brochure. I asked for it specially. I thought you'd like it.
You're a good man. It's perfect.
Just us.
Let's unpack and then go downstairs and have some lunch.
Yes. Forgotten something?
No, I haven't forgotten anything.
Oh.
This is exactly the same dress as the one I tried on for Dad when he wanted something sexy for Ellie to be sexy in.
So it is.
And now you've brought me one.
Well,
Brian, I couldn't possibly go downstairs in it. I mean, everyone would look.
Betty.
I mean, it's just too...
Oh, it is, yes.
On the other hand, if I slipped into it after lunch and there was only you to look, it wouldn't matter if it was too...
No. It wouldn't, would it?
Tell me something. When I tried that dress on, your mouth fell wide open. Dad said it was you seeing me in it and not thinking of Ellie in it. That is true, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Sure you're all right?
Why do you keep asking me if I'm all right?
You look ill at ease.
Going to the opera with all these stuffed shirts.
They're just ordinary people like you and me. You wish you were at home, don't you?
No, of course not. Is she Carmen?
Yes.
Oh, come on, we don't want to miss the start.
You enjoyed that, didn't you?
Oh, it wasn't bad. Do you think the girls in the cigarette factory really roll the cigarettes on their thighs?
I don't know.
I shouldn't think they do now. They're all machines.
What a beautiful voice that girl had.
Great figure.
Yours is not the most esoteric critique I've ever heard.
That's about as esoteric as I get.
You had a tear at the end?
I did not.
I saw it.
No, I had cramp in my leg. I was fighting pain. I was.
Oh, well, back to the real world. Somebody mugged, somebody burgled.
What if Betty and Brian's house was burgled?
And why should it be?
It's empty.
You did lock up.
Of course I locked up. I'm not incompetent.
That's all right, then.
It's just my luck, wouldn't it? Brian and Betty come back tomorrow. What do they find? Just me. No valuables, no furniture, no ornaments, no carpets. Just me sitting on the bare boards.
I don't know what you're on about. I mean, just suppose it did happen. There's very long odds. They wouldn't blame you. They knew you'd be out tonight. They do know.
I said I'd stay in. I said I wouldn't go to the opera.
You old fool.
Don't you abuse me. I only said it to keep them quiet so I could come to your rotten opera.
I didn't ask you to lie to them.
No, you wouldn't, would you? You're too nice for that. What would I say to them? I mean, how would I face them?
Don't you think you're being rather melodramatic? I mean, this is all so much far-fetched supposition, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose it is.
I mean, what are the odds that on this particular night burglars should break into that particular house?
Immense. I'm going.
All the lights are on.
I know. I left them on to deter burglars.
Very quiet.
It's always quiet round here. I sometimes wonder whether everybody's actually died. Oh, well, I better go in.
I'll come with you.
What use will you be?
None at all, but I need a pee.
How can you think of peeing at a time like this?
Easily.
Come on. They could still be in the house.
They?
Yes.
How do they get in?
How should I know? Listen. I can hear someone breathing.
I think it was me.
Oh, I've had enough of this. Look, if there's anyone there, I think you should know there are 15 of us, and we are all rugby players. That's ridiculous. There's no one here.
Of course there's not.
Perhaps we better have a look round, just in case.
Is the lavatory upstairs?
Yes.
We'll start there. Look, do you think we ought to?
We could have been murdered by a gang of armed thugs. Of course we ought to.
I ought to phone Ellie.
What, you're going to need her to carry you home?
To tell her I'll be late.
You're already late. Now sit down, relax, and we'll drink to our heroism. Oh. Oh.
I'm going home.
Don't you move. Think of something.
I just did, going home.
Something constructive. I know. You'll tell Betty we weren't here.
So who spilt the wine? Burglars?
Ah. Ellie, my angel.
You'd better have a very good reason for dragging me out at this time of night.
You were the first person we thought of.
I'm not flattered. Now, where's this emergency?
Follow me.
You were the first person we thought of.
It's been tried. Well? A stain on the carpet. You disrupt my life for a stain on the carpet?
But it's red wine.
We got all the cleaning stuff out, but we don't know which to use.
We don't want to use the wrong one and make it worse.
That'd be worse.
It's red wine, you see.
You said that.
A lot of red wine.
Almost a bottle.
Oh, I don't know. What have you got here?
It's typical, isn't it? I get away with the opera, then this happens.
What do you mean, get away with the opera?
Did I say that?
Yes, you did. What do you mean?
All right. I promised Betty I'd stay home and keep an eye on the house.
Did you know about this?
Yes.
No, he didn't. I told him afterwards.
I've half a mind to walk out of here now and leave you to it.
But we're poor old men.
He'll get into trouble.
He deserves to get into trouble.
I did have one idea. Cut out the stained piece of carpet and put it under some furniture at the edge of the room, and then get a clean piece and try and glue it in the hole.
You broke your word.
He did it for me, really.
It doesn't make any difference. You're always complaining about your daughter. She doesn't even trust me, you say. But based on this evidence, why should she?
No, okay, you're right. I shouldn't have broken a promise. But this is different. All right, it's just a stain, but what does it say? It says I'm a clumsy old man who drops things. It says I've started doing the sort of things clumsy old men are supposed to do.
Well, as long as I'm here, I'll have a go. But if it doesn't work, you face the music.
Will you marry me?
No.
Oh, you want to propose to me?
Oh, shut up. Oh, none of these things will work except in commercials. I wonder.
It won't work, you know, that cutting a piece out of the carpet.
Have you got any white wine in the house?
Do you want a drink?
No, I don't want to drink. But I heard somewhere if you put white wine on red wine, I don't know the reason, it's something to do with the chemical reaction, but the one's supposed to neutralise the other.
You sure it'll work?
I'll put it this way, it'd better.
Don't think you've ever kissed me in the car before.
Thank you for a lovely weekend.
Glad to be home.
Not really.
No.
Dad?
Just coming.
He's laid the table for us, that's nice.
He's cooking a meal for us, that's even nicer. Good weekend?
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
I like the sound of that.
Dad, did you say you were cooking a meal?
Don't look so worried. It's one of those stick it in the oven and pretend you cooked it jobs. Now, a glass of wine. Red or white?
Right, please.
Yes, me too.
Coming up. Well, go on, you sit down. So tell me about this wonderful weekend. Oh, they're wonderful. Betty, Did you find a surprise in your suitcase?
How did you know about that?
I told him. I told him I bought you a new dress.
Yes, he did. He did.
Oh, I see.
Did you flaunt it all over the hotel?
Not exactly. How was your weekend?
Oh, you know, quiet.
Did you enjoy the opera?
Yeah, surprisingly enough, I did enjoy... Oh. How did you know?
We telephoned you Saturday night and there was no reply.
Checking up on me, eh?
Just to see how you were, actually.
I was asleep when you phoned.
If you were asleep, how did you know we rang?
You just told me so.
What time were you asleep?
What time did you ring?
Dad, there's no point in constructing a case for the defence. You just admitted you went to the opera.
You sure about that?
Yes.
All right, yes, I did go to the opera. But it was all Harry's fault.
I find that hard to believe.
It was. Ellie said he'd be terribly disappointed if I didn't go. I only told you I'd stay in because I wanted you to go for your weekend. I wanted you to have some time on your own without me getting in the way. No, I admit I do get in the way sometimes. And I'm not the most discreet of men. In fact, I'm an old nuisance. And sometimes I wonder why you put up with me. But I want you to know it wasn't an easy decision going out. If it hadn't been for Harry, I mean, he hadn't been for years. And I didn't enjoy it a bit. I was so riddled with guilt. As a matter of fact... You're not angry.
No.
Why aren't you angry?
I just don't feel like being angry.
But when you found I was out, weren't you obsessed with the thought of burglars?
Only for a little while.
What's the name of this hotel you stayed at?
Why?
Well, it sounds as if it must be enchanted. Well, whatever it was, I'm delighted for both of you that you had such a wonderful time. Cheers, here's to both of you. Oh!
Oh, Dad.
No, don't worry, don't worry. I've got a trick for this.
What are you doing?
It's a chemical reaction, you see. One neutralises the other. Doesn't it, Brian?
Well, white wine's supposed to neutralise red wine.
Well, there you are, then.
And the other way round?
I don't think it will.
Now you're angry.
Now I'm angry.
I think I'll eat out.